Unless you optimally support your actives, they are not going to work well.
One of the most loved ingredient, niacinamide, like everyone's talking about it. Can you tell us why people are obsessed with it?
Everybody who loves it is using it correctly. Everybody who fears it is using it unsupervised.
So if beginners were to use or start with retinol, what kind of formulation should they go for? You're listening to Immaculate Insights, a space where skincare slows down and science sounds soft. I'm Trishya Hajare, co-founder of Immaculate, a clean skincare brand built on one belief, that when care is clear, skin listens. Each episode, we explore the calm side of skincare, which is honest, effective, and quietly confident. Today, we are decoding a topic that everyone is curious about: active ingredients. We have seen them on labels, heard them on reels, and probably tried a few times with mixed feelings. But we'll slow it all down for you because actives are powerful, but only when understood. And who better to guide us than Dr. Ajay Dodeja, a dermatologist, aesthetic physician, and founder of A Skin and Hair Clinic in Thane, Mumbai. He's known for making complex skin science feel human. Dr. Ajay, welcome to Immaculate Insights.
Thank you, Trisha. I'm happy to be here, and I'm glad we are doing this series where we are saying that skincare does not have to be chaotic, it's supposed to be calm.
Let's start with the basics. We see so many words: niacinamide, retinol, salicylic acid, alpha-arbutin, and people often feel lost. So what exactly are actives?
Well, actives are like your school teachers. They are not just sitting in your skin, but they are training your skin to behave in a way. Your actives are going to train you to hydrate, to heal, to repair, to renew, depending on what active you are introducing to your skin.
So if I'm using the most advanced serum, but not a simple SPF or a cleanser, it's pointless?
Technically, yes. It does not matter how expensive or how labeled your active is. Unless you optimally support your actives, they are not going to work well.
That's so true. So I used to layer my skin with different serums, thinking I'm doing my skin a big favor.
I mean, you might not be doing your skin a favor, but what you might be doing is more confusion and more chaos. That's what we don't want. When you use multiple serums or multiple actives, it's very important how you layer them and what are the individual ingredients acting on.
Okay, so it's less rush and more rhythm, you would say.
Absolutely.
Let's start with one of the most loved ingredient, niacinamide, everyone's talking about it. Can you tell us why people are obsessed with it?
So niacinamide is basically the master of all and jack of none, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So it's a very good co-prescription molecule, as we say it. You can prescribe it absolutely with everything and anything that you are mentioning in your prescription. If you put it with vitamin C, it enhances the brightening effect. If you put it with hyaluronic acid, it's going to enhance the hydration effect.
So you can say it's like a people's pleaser, it can go well with every active.
Well, I'm not sure if it's good to be a people pleaser, but yes, you can say it's a people pleaser.
That's fascinating. So literally recharging your skin.
Yes, technically. So you can actually say that it's renewing your cell energy because what it does is it acts on the NAD plus cycle. Now this NAD plus is very good at giving in fuel and energy to your DNA. It just lets your DNA repair and it signals your skin to renew itself. So it's not only doing it temporarily, it's like I said, your skincare actives are like your teachers. It's training your skin to renew by itself.
So it just doesn't work on your skin, it works with it.
Yes, that would be a good way to put it.
Alright, so that makes so much sense, why so many other products pair with it so well.
It's a molecule that works with synergistic effect. Like I mentioned, that the primary molecule that you target with niacinamide is going to bring about an enhanced effect altogether.
So it's incredible how simple it is, but yet so powerful.
Well, it is very powerful. If you know about it, it's potent. If you don't know about it, it is kind of aggressive.
So now let's move on to another ingredient, another active, alpha-arbutin. This is one of my favorite because it's gentle, but it's also effective.
Yes, it's the subtle pigment player is how I would put it.
So what does it exactly do to your skin?
So alpha-arbutin is a molecule that works on an enzyme called as tyrosinase. Now this tyrosinase is something that has a regulatory or a modulatory effect on your melanin, which is your skin pigment. So both tyrosinase and melanin together are going to give you pigmentation by the end of it. Once your alpha-arbutin has targeted it, it's very precise a pigment corrector, but a gentler one, unlike hydroquinone or other the stronger actives.
Would you say like it's like bleaching or like balancing?
Oh, with alpha-arbutin, I wouldn't say it's bleaching. It's more of modulating or balancing. So I would go with balancing here.
So it evens out your skin tone.
Definitely.
And also, can this active be layered with other products?
Yes, most certainly. It's one of the very UV stable products that you can put across in the AM skincare routine or in the PM skincare routine. But you must remember, irrespective of when you use it through the day, you ought to apply your sunscreen diligently.
So let's talk about the cult ingredient, salicylic acid. Some people love it, some people fear it. Why is that?
Everybody who loves it is using it correctly. Everybody who fears it is using it unsupervised. When I say salicylic acid, so salicylic acid is a BHA, meaning beta hydroxy acid. So this acid is gentle but has the capacity to go a little deeper in your skin and clean your sebum and gunk and oil and all of the deposits and give you clearer pores. Isn't that what everybody is looking for?
Absolutely. It sounds more like a therapist for your skin.
Yes, that's a very good way to put it. So salicylic acid basically is something that works very beautifully at the pH of 3.2 to 4. That's like the gentle sweet spot where the exfoliation happens. It's not, damaging your barrier. It's gently just removing everything that's supposed to be removed and at the same time not disrupting your barrier. What a lot of people also forget at times is that it's a keratolytic agent, meaning when you need to recycle or reset your skin's shedding cycle, you can use salicylic acid for that too. It's a wonderful tool.
And I've also heard that salicylic acid also has this, soothing side to it. Where does it come from?
Well, salicylic acid is soothing because it's almost taking away everything that's known to cause more irritation and more inflammation in your skin. So once all of that is gone, because it's technically a oil soluble component, so it will dissolve the oil, surpass the top layers and remove all the impurities. So your inflammation levels are in general lower when you use salicylic acid, but this wouldn't happen with single use. Once you use it consistently and train your skin to behave a certain way, then your skin is going to feel much more calmer, though it's an acid by itself.
So how often would you say we can use it in a week?
Now, how often you use salicylic acid is something that depends on your skin type. If you're somebody with highly acne prone, oily skin, you could perhaps use a salicylic acid wash daily. What also matters is the percentage of salicylic acid in the product that you're using. Anything up to 2% is good for daily use for oily acne prone skin. Whereas if you're someone with dry or a combination skin, an alternative night or alternative day serum would be good as well.
So now let's talk about the most talked about active, which is the retinol. So I have heard people who have been using it for years, it seems to be very effective. But for beginners, it's more like a nightmare. So why is that?
Because perhaps as beginners, you aren't well read and well researched on the kind of retinol you're using. So retinol also comes in a wide variety. There are multiple generations of retinol. Yes, all of them are going to work on your RAR or retinoid receptors, but the strength and the type of retinol you use also matters. A lot of beginners come in wherein they make these errors where they don't know that the skin ought to purge when you start using a retinol. So always make sure you start low and go slow when it's retinol.
So for beginners, how much, what is the frequency you would recommend?
I have a very simple rule. If you're in your 20s, stick to twice a week. If you're in your 30s, stick to thrice a week. If you're in your 40s, use it 4 times a week. Anything above, you can go daily as well because you've been using since prior.
So how does this ingredient, this active, make your skin youthful?
So how retinol actually makes you youthful is by renewing the cell turnover rate. Your skin has a 28-day cycle. You need to understand, even if you do not do anything, the top layer of your skin is going to get flushed off after 28 days. At times in certain diseases, disorders or conditions, this 28-day might come down or might go up. When you want to bring it to a point wherein it's very regular, it's very rhythmic, almost poetic for your skin, that's where retinol comes in. It's going to rewire your skin cells to think into, having the timeline very correct.
And what about beginners? Can they start with retinol creams?
Yeah, absolutely. Cream, serums, whatever the formulation be, it has to be appropriate to your skin type. But whereas retinol is concerned, you can start low, like I mentioned. And another way to avoid a lot of irritation that retinol causes is to use a sandwich method, wherein you go in with a moisturizer below, you sandwich the retinol and put a moisturizer layer on top again. So this way I think you'll lower the retinol irritation and the safety of the product goes higher.
So if beginners were to use or start with retinol, what kind of formulation should they go for?
If a beginner wants to start retinol, I think creams would be the best because it's like your active is cushioned within the cream itself. The sandwich technique that I mentioned, you could totally skip it because if it's more ceramide based or a creamy based formulation, you can just apply your retinol, but make sure the quantity is low and you go slow.
So you would say 0.2%, 3% would be.
So that depends on the kind of retinol you're using. If you're using a tretinoin, perhaps 0.04 would also be okay to start with. Even 0.025 would be okay to start with. But if you're using a retinol palmitate or a derivative of retinol, then you could perhaps go with a 0.2, 0.3 also.
So now with all these incredible ingredients, I think mistakes are inevitable. What do you see most often are the mistakes?
So the mistake that a lot of people make, not just beginners, is one, they think more the merrier. That's not the case with skincare. You can't just keep over-layering random things together. It is bound to give you more inflammation and more breakouts. The second thing is not using sunscreen. If you are somebody who's not in the habit of using SPF, please do not start your actives. Give it 15 days, 20 days, get into the habit of using SPF diligently and then start with your actives. And third would be impatience. Like I mentioned, not just retinol, any other skincare active that you're using, you have to have patience. Your skin has a cycle of 28 days. Any product is going to need 2 cycles, meaning 56 days you have to wait it out to see the full results.
To sum it up, I think progress needs patience.
Patience, yeah,
Yeah,
that's
so it's
right.
more like a fitness journey, like a daily journey to get to your goal.
Well, as much as all of us wish that we step in the gym on day one and do a deadlift of 70, 80, but we all know it takes at least months to get there. So it's same with skincare as well. You gradually ought to build. Perhaps your skin is not resistant right in the beginning. You might have some purging, you might have some breakouts, but once you use your skincare actives consistently, it is very rewarding. Trust me on that.
So healthy skin is patient skin. All right, now this is my favorite part, a quick rapid fire round.
Let's go.
And short answers only. Niacinamide plus vitamin C.
Yes, gentle and glow.
Salicylic acid plus retinol
No.
on the same night.
Definitely no. I think they're good if they take turns, you could alternate.
Alpha arbutin for all skin tones.
Yeah, why not? It's very precise, it's straight up there on the melanin.
Retinol in summer.
If you're using moisturizer and your SPF along with your retinol, you could be using your retinol all through the year.
Niacinamide plus retinol.
Niacinamide is good with anything.
How long for visible results?
8 to 10 weeks.
So no mirror stalking every morning.
Well, no mirror stalking, but perhaps the good thing would be mirror talking. You watch your face and the self-talk you have every morning in the mirror is also something that's very important.
Wow, I love that. Before we close, let's talk something much more deeper, the connection between the mind and skin.
So in dermatology, I like to put it across as emodermatology, wherein you harness the emotional status and availability of your patient. Or what you do is generate a therapeutic insight and give awareness. So a lot of times patients are not really aware that the skin and mind have a constant connection through nerves, through hormones, through peptides, and through various markers that, are responsible for creating inflammation. Say your stress hormone, that's the cortisol. If you're in a situation which is very nerve-wracking, it's stressful, or there are certain emotions that are not regulated well, your cortisol levels spike up. Once your cortisol levels spike up, it's gonna reduce your collagen amount, it's gonna delay your healing time, and it's basically gonna do everything that's not very pleasant for your skin. This itself can cause a lot of further issues. So it's very important to understand and appreciate that the skin and the mind are in a constant communication.
So calming the mind is part of the regime.
Yeah, most certainly. Even if you're talking about skincare actives, I think the biggest active would be your mind. Irrespective of whatever you apply, when you apply your retinol, if your self-talk is that, oh, I'm gonna purge, I believe that you will definitely purge even if you weren't supposed to. When you're applying your vitamin C, if your self-talk is something like, oh, this is gonna help me glow, this is gonna bring in the good light, and this is gonna help me look better, of course it's gonna work way more than you thought it would be.
Wow, that's quite interesting. Dr. Ajay, thank you so much for turning skincare into soul care.
My pleasure. It's always fun to have such conversations.
If you're listening, remember your skin doesn't need everything. It needs what's right for you. Stay simple, stay consistent, protect your progress. Because healthy skin isn't created by harshness, it's built with harmony. This was Immaculate Insights, and I'm Trishya, and I'll see you again soon, where we keep simplifying skin one conversation at a time.